Guys, the US visa interview process has changed drastically in the last 12 months, and I'm here to tell you exactly what's going on. The first change is that they're starting to ask technical questions. One of our applicants was asked a question that is very specific to a particular part of the Python programming language. So they asked something such as, okay, how do you do this in Python? And this is something that is, understand this, in the latest version of the Python only. So this guy didn't know it, of course. I mean, you can be an expert in Python but still not know what's the latest update in that field, right? It's possible, you may not know it. And on the basis of that question, and one more question essentially, his visa was rejected. So understand this, the visa officers may ask you some technical questions in certain cases. They can really ask anything, and you need to be prepared based on your field. The second thing is reduced visa slot availability. What does that mean? So if you're a rejected candidate or you've been rejected recently, you may not actually see the slots that are available to first timers, and this was something that was happening last year as well. However, this year what they've also done is they're taking into account the date of your rejection. Hence, what that means is, for instance, if you're rejected potentially, let's say today, right, you may not actually see those slots that are visible to someone who was rejected 6 months ago. And that's a new addition. This did not used to happen. There were two things: first timers and rejected slots. However, now that's changing. Rejected slots are starting to have a little bit of phases around them, and again, while certain accounts are still able to get them, it's not promised as such. Number 3, there's a heavy bias on why this university. The ranking of the university is showing to matter a lot more this year than the last couple of years. So if you're going to a university that is badly ranked, it's not in the top 10, 20, and trust me guys, you need to check your university ranking. Go on to either US News, YMGrad.com, check it on one of these platforms. The reason I'm saying that is essentially because the counselors will tell you that of course the university is good at the end of the day, right? They're not going to be saying that, hey, that's a bad university that we're sending you to, it's number 10 in national universities, this, that. But verify the ranking by yourself and see if that's the case. And on that basis, you'll know if you're going to a bad university. And what happens is that, of course, the visa officers think, why are you actually going to this particular university when you can potentially get something much better in your own country with your credentials, right? So clearly you're going there to essentially immigrate or something, because at the end of the day, it's really not making sense as to why you're moving there. And that's how the ranking kind of plays into it, and that essentially makes it sort of difficult for you to get accepted if you're going to a badly ranked university. And the one final change that we have seen this year is shorter interviews. So potentially, if let's say you go ahead for an interview, until last year, average interview was somewhere around 1.5 minutes, sometimes even up to 2-3 minutes in certain cases, very long interviews. This year, average is somewhere around 40-50 seconds. So the interview is shorter. Understand that it would be a little bit difficult for you to convey all of your points, just in case they don't want to listen to it. And of course, keep in mind that you may actually need to rehearse a lot before you actually go for such interviews. Alright, so those were your biggest changes in the US visa interviews that's happening this year. Make sure that you follow our page on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube so that we will keep you updated with such information. And of course, keep in mind that if you're facing issues with your visa, you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp. I wish you all the best. Goodbye and take care until next time.